I, something like that. But I, yeah. Oh man, you know what? I was thinking that everything is not for you, and everything is not for me either. You know, meaning is like anything that we have is not for ourselves, but for each other. Even to the things that you think is not for each other, but it's for ourselves. And what I mean by this, you know, for example, struggling. Struggling is not for you. Many things, the pain you go through is not even for you. It's for somebody else. So somebody else that's struggling can see you going through the same thing and you got out. And then you got out and then you can help them. And then you further glorified our Father who art in heaven. For that is the purpose of life, is to glorify God. And then many people, they'll beat around the bush and say, no, we have no idea what the purpose of life is. We have no idea why we're here. And yes, we do. We know. The Bible tells us for the glory of God and His glory. That's why we are here. And yes, you can understand most things about God. Because why can you understand most things about God? Because man is what? The physical representation of God upon the earth. The image of God. Who was made in God's image? Is your son not made in your image? So when you grow up, and when the son grows up, the family around the son, they'll be like, oh, you're looking like your daddy. You're acting like daddy. You're acting like your daddy. Oh, look at you acting like your daddy. You do something like that, and you're like, oh, you just like your daddy. Why you just like your daddy? Why? So, there's a reflection there. There's a reflection from somewhere. There's a reflection catching the projection of something. It's catching the projection of the Father. You can even take on this reflection. You can actually see why human beings come into existence for the Lord's pleasure. The Bible tells us this too. For the Lord's pleasure. For the Lord's pleasure. That's why human beings were created in the first place. Just like a woman was created for what? A man's pleasure. And just like the man always being ungrateful to God, always turning away from God, always not submitting to the will of God, just as the woman shall do, always turning away from the man, always not submitting to the will of her man. Which is why you must, as a man, submit to God. Because if you don't submit to the Most High God in Christ, then there's nothing to you. You might as well kill yourself. Because there's nothing there. There's no man there. Being a man doesn't have anything to do with what the world tells you. Being a man has nothing to do with, oh, you have to know how to fix a car. Being a man has nothing to do with, oh, real men don't hit women. No, real men check women. That's why women are running. Most of the problems and most of women's delusions and most of women's disrespectful behavior is 85% because of docile, weak men who back up to their fear. Fear of what? The fear of the woman, the fear of hurting and offending and fracturing the woman's feelings and getting her emotions all roused up where she's in distress. This is where most of the problems between men and women come from. And then you have docile, weak men that be like, and then the worst ones are the ones that reflect back onto the animal kingdom and say, this is, see, be a man, especially when they reflect back to lions. I don't understand. I don't think people got it in their brains how vicious animals truly are. Definitely a lion. A lion. Do you know a lion? Like this one clip I showed of this lioness play biting a lion. And the lion turns around and smacks her in the mouth and goes like she was like and then the lion was like and then he came out and goes, why did the lion do this? Why did the lion do this? The lion did this so the woman could be pushed back into her place because she rose up trying to take on the place of the lion. And the lion was not having it. The lion said, no, you are a lioness. So I'm gonna put you back into your place of a lioness. And the lioness was brought back into her place. It's that simple. But nowadays, you got a whole bunch of men following what a man is in the ways of the world. Not hitting women have nothing to do with being a real man. If a woman hits you, you have the all guaranteed right to hit her back. She should have enough common sense and have enough knowledge told to her about by her father that to not hit anyone, especially a man, because men are stronger than women. What kind of idiot is going to go up and hit somebody that they know that are stronger than that they know that can knock their ass out, that they know that can beat them with ease? It makes no sense. And if you're a man, are you gonna go to pick a fight with somebody that's way bigger than you? Okay, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson. Let's say you're a skinny old boy and you run up and see Mike Tyson. Are you gonna go up and smack him and pour water on him and do all kinds of disrespectful things? No, because you know and you understand if you do, your ass is going to get knocked out. There's going to be a fight that's going to occur. That's basic common sense. It's not because you're a man. It's because it's human nature. You know, if you come out and act aggressively towards somebody, somebody's going to act aggressively towards you back. The difference is with the woman, most people in this world expect you to reject that natural instinct, the natural instinct, which many people love to argue with naturalists, with natural instincts and stuff, but that's another topic. But natural instinct, and they want you to reject the natural instinct and be docile and do nothing. That's weakness. That's docileness. That's a real man. Don't ever strive to be a real man. A real man is the most weakest thing a man can be. A righteous man, though, is a great man. A righteous man is a good man. I never heard a real man being described in the Bible. A righteous man is obtaining the favor of the Most High God. A real man obtains the favor of the world because he's docile. He follows and molds himself into the ways of the world so he can be productive and move about and get along and just do all kinds of weird stuff and submits his own will and his own nature and conforms unto whatever and anything the world tells him he needs to be. Now, every man doesn't do this to the same extent. Because, there's some men that go into the archetype of the gangster. And there's some men that go into the archetype of the faggot. And there's some men that go into the archetype of the effeminate man. But they each have these similarities. They each have the similarity of bending their will to what society deems a man, which is a real man. Which has nothing to do with a real man at all. Because, and these real men aren't respected. You know this, right? They're not respected. Don't. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. It's an illusion and a delusion. A real man is not somebody that doesn't hit women. A real man is somebody that submits to the will of God. Well, a real man doesn't.